I call this meeting to order. Welcome everyone and good evening. Welcome to everyone in the room. Welcome everyone at home. This is the Bangor School Committee regular meeting. Today is Wednesday, May 22nd. It's right at 7. So let's go ahead and get started and please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So first on the agenda, we have a couple of recognitions. The first one is Maine's 2024 Penobscot County Teacher of the Year, Superintendent Taker.
Thank you, Chair Hostin. The Bangor School Department and the Bangor School Committee would like to recognize Bangor High School English teacher and graduation coach Emily Throckmorton as Maine's 2024 Penobscot County Teacher of the Year. 600 teachers across Maine were nominated, with Emily being one of 16 chosen. Maine County Teachers of the Year serve as ambassadors for teachers, students, and schools throughout their years of service. Congratulations, Emily.
We're gonna have everyone take a picture.
Oh. The students. Come in the middle. Next, we have 2024 Special Education Teacher of the Year.
Yes, thank you, Chair. The Bangor School Department and the Bangor School Committee would like to recognize Bangor Regional Program Special Education Teacher Kendra Perry for the Maine Administrators of Services for Children with Disabilities Special Education Teacher of the Year. Kendra was selected for her outstanding contributions to the field of special education. Congratulations, Kendra. And we've got one more person we'd like to recognize tonight that was not on the agenda. Luke Dussablon is the second student of the committee in Bangor School Department history, so second student representative on the school committee. So we're very proud of you, Luke. You've added a lot to our meetings. You're insightful, you're witty, and I think you represent the community and your school with dignity and respect. So we really appreciate you and the person that you are.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Are there any adjustments to the agenda, Superintendent Taker?
Yes, Chair Hudson, we'd like to strike D2A from the agenda.
Okay, can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Thank you.
Moving on to public comments. Just as a quick reminder, as always, members of the public may address the school committee for up to 3 minutes on school and education matters. Public comments shall be directed to the school committee and be brief and not repetitive. The school committee's practice is not to respond or debate with speakers during the public comment period. We are here to listen. The superintendent or his staff will follow up on comments outside of the meeting as appropriate. The committee will not permit profanity or shouting and requests that speakers be civil. Discussion of specific personnel or student matters and complaints concerning specific employees or students will not be allowed, but will be addressed through established policies and procedures. Before speaking, we encourage speakers to review School Committee Policy AC, which provides that the committee does not and will not discriminate nor tolerate discrimination against students or employees on the basis of membership in a protected class. Speakers who share comments contrary to this policy will not be allowed to continue. Before starting, please state your name and place of residence. And do we have any public comments tonight? Seeing none, we move on to superintendent's proposals and updates. We have one action item, and it's the revised first reading of FY25 budget.
Business Director Jerry Hayman will present a revised first reading of the FY25 budget.
You're on board.
You've never heard this before. Well, good evening. So when we last discussed the budget, obviously you passed the second reading a little while ago. We presented it to the city. The city had, we had a really nice dialogue with them. There was a lot of discussion, and they felt we could do a little bit of tweaking with the budgets, and they suggested some things we could do, and we agreed. So I'm going to let you know what we've changed in the budget and what we haven't, and I'm going to hopefully briefly go over it tonight to get it into first reading. And then on the 12th, we'll take it into more detail for the second reading. So that said, there was a lot of discussion around the two large projects we had slated for school, the step room renovation phase 2 and the loading dock renovation. They felt that it could be better funded another way and out of the budget itself, so it didn't directly impact the mill rate. So we worked, we analyzed the school's fund balance and the debt ratio, et cetera, and see what we could do. And at the end of it, we decided that the school could use their fund balance for about half of those projects. And the city was willing to use theirs for the other half. It was a very good compromise, and it got both projects out of the budget and therefore no direct mill rate impact. The other change that we did, we had $120,000 in there for consultant for the state of Maine construction contracts. Our applications will be submitted in August, then scored, and only if the scoring goes well would we need a consultant to do some further studies. So we decided to pull the 120,000 until such time as we got the score, could kind of read the landscape, whether investing that funds in a consultant would make sense at the time. So we pulled that 120,000 out of the budget for now, and we'll address it later. If we need to spend it, we will probably fund that with our fund balance as well. So in total, there was 3 changes, $910,000. It reduced the budget nicely, and I'm going to go over the numbers now for you. So this is the revised first reading. I'll try to be brief. I know you've seen a lot of this about 3 times already.
Is there a part in this budget that lays out what you just said, just showing what was changed?
I didn't include it in the packet, but I can certainly forward it to you. I've done that one page. I did it again. So we made no staff changes, no benefit changes. So all the new positions that we've talked about over and over with the special education the ML teachers, the math coach, they're all still in there. Nothing changed on that front, just those projects. Everything else remained the same. So, I can get that to you tomorrow morning. I can ship it. So we're gonna start again with the ratios that we have seen several times, comparing Bangor to the state of Maine. In the categories that the state lays out and the amount we dedicate to each category. And this is the same numbers in graph form that you've seen a couple times already. Nothing obviously changed. So look back. So we're going to start with I always like to start with the revenue. So the 910,000, these are a lot of these are the same numbers as before, but I'm going to go over them again for you as a reminder. The very first line is the required local appropriation. That's what the state tells you should spend and raise locally to support your school system for the structure and size that it is. They analyze everything you can possibly imagine, and they come up with a very complex formula. And that number has not changed in any of the presentations, and that remains at $19,297,000. The amount that did change is the second line. We always spend more than the required local appropriation. So that's the local appropriation above required. And that amount is the one that changed to $910,000. So that's still increase from last year. Well, it totals $10,365,000. It's an increase from last year of $2,487,000. So that is what would be required from the citizens of Bangor to be raised through taxes to fund our school. The third one is the state aid. That obviously has not changed. There was no last minute extra money coming from the state in the budget for the schools. So that remains steady at $26,426,000. An increase over last year is $572,000. The bottom numbers, the smaller revenues, I obviously kept the same, have not changed them since last year because they're really not what drives the needle, so to speak. But if you look at the very bottom, the bottom budget now is below $60 million. So the new budget total is $59,530,000. It's an increase of just over $3 million, $3,031,000. And the percent has dropped down to 5.37%. So that's all in the right directions. If you, from a taxpayer standpoint, I think it's a better reflection of what the budget should be. And obviously, the increase is simply driven by staffing at this point. As a reminder, the numbers on the very right-hand side of the slide, there's 1 through 21. And if you wanted further definition of where the revenues come from, the next 2 pages in your packet give you a little brief answer to that question. It's always good to, as a refresher once in a while. Then we go on to look at the same numbers, but in an expense form. And we're looking at it for the account categories that the state of Maine puts together. They require every school department to do a budget with these categories because they need to compare apples to apples. So this is probably the only time, except for the end of the year, that you're going to see a presentation in the account categories. We usually look at it, as you'll see in a few minutes, in the division format. So all the numbers remain the same. I'm going to tell you the ones that changed, and the only ones that changed because of the projects. A lot of the dollars were in our facilities maintenance. As you can imagine, there was $550,000. The furniture and cabinetry for that project was in regular instruction. And that was $240,000. And the last 120,000 for the consultant was in the system administration. So those are the only numbers on that whole page that have changed from previous versions that you've seen. And once again, you can see at the bottom, the budget of $59,530,000. You can see the $3 million increase and the 5.37% increase. And I have notes on any one of those sections you want to dive in. We'll go deep. So just let me know. And on the 12th, what we'll do is we'll read these numbers in one at a time to make sure they're in on the record. And at the end, we'll you'll see the articles that I'll have you vote on next time. So the account categories, I have notes on everyone correspond, and it tells you what the category is doing in the school system and the major increase factors of that category. And the only thing that really disappeared from those notes are the projects and the consultant. So there's a couple pages of that to correspond with categories. And this is bar graph of the categories. You can see lion's share of our dollars get spent on regular instruction and special education. That didn't change. So then in your packet, if you want, I'm going to go through it fairly quickly, but we take each account category. We talk about what's in the account category from schools' perspective for programming, and then we break it down to correspond to the first page you already saw, but in more detail. So what this is telling you is regular instruction was $25,382,000, an increase over last year, and it shows you exactly where the increases came. And then it goes on to the other 9 categories. So I'll click slowly so you can see it, but if you want me to stop, I have notes on this as well. So it goes in order. The first page, special education. I can read it in a second. That's special education, other instruction, student staff support, system administration, which is where that $120,000 was. School administration, which is principals, etc. Transportation, that's our bus contract and the others. Transportation that we provide. Facilities maintenance, that's that. The 550,000 was taken out of this. Which made a big difference on that. You can see the year-to-year increase went down to 91,000 after taking those projects out. Debt service remained the same. I'm increasing this, anticipating paying. It was good to see that I work with the city CFO. We were working on our upcoming debt, all the capital projects that we've done over the last 3 years together. We've agreed to bond 6 of them, starting with Cameron Stadium, and we've increased the budget, anticipating that bonding coming on and those debt service payments coming. The budget was spot on, so good to hear, good to see, good to prove. And then all others, it's a very small category. So this is the one that you see every month, and it's also in your packet. We have I think March for you tonight. This is the budget divided up into our divisions. So these are all our schools, plus technology and service, special education's in there because it's its own division. So it breaks up the expenses. But it, obviously the total comes down to the same amount, $59,530,000. So the only two that have changed from everything else you've seen before is is all the projects were Bangor High. So Bangor High was reduced by $790,000. And the $120,000 for the consultant was on the business law. So that's the only two numbers that changed on this whole graphic. And the year-to-date increase is the same, the percentage is the same. And yes, I have notes on every one of them for your reading enjoyment. It tells you what's going on in the division and the major increases or decreases from the prior year. So I'm sure you read those. Now this one again compares the left-hand column compares with the state aid every year, the up or down. The green is the state aid going up, and the on the one on the left, the local is, are we putting more or less in from a local perspective? And it started back in 2010. It's so long I had to break it up into 2 pages, but you can see the very bottom one. You can see on the left the state on the increasing $572,000 that I referred to on the revenue slide, and you can see the other one decreased by $910,000, but it's going to be an increase of $2,458,000 request from the taxpayers. And this is a graph of the state subsidy. We like it when it goes up. It's starting to peak a little at the top, but we like the trajectory over the last few years. It's state funding has been very good to the school department. The next one's a little more revealing. This is the state's aid as a percentage of our budget, and you can, well, the title got slid over a little bit, and I apologize, but hopefully you can see that we're it's going down now, which means we're spending a little more than the state aid is not keeping up with it. So the burden is now shifting to the other local appropriation. So that's what it's telling you is the state aid was keeping up with our spending last 2 years, and it's turned the other way. So we'll just have to monitor that so we don't overburden the taxpayers. This is the charter schools. You saw this before. That hasn't changed. And the mill rates, it's not changed since you've seen it from the very first meeting. And the pie graphs, this is fiscal 24 and 25, and you can see the slices between the categories the state of Maine puts together. It really doesn't change much. You can see the yellow, and from this angle it's like pink, but it's regular instruction and special education are the biggest wedges in the whole pie. And next time we'll read these one at a time. If you're in agreement that the budget is the way it should be, to formally accept the budget at the second reading. So that's the first 5 articles and 3 pages, but we'll read them one at a time and vote on them if you're in agreement. So I think that's all I have for you. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll answer them. Like I said, 3 changes, and makes a big difference. $910,000.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I get a motion, please?
Second.
Any questions in the board comment? Seeing none, all in favor?
That's a 7-0.
Thank you, Jerry.
That was great.
Jerry. Next, we have a couple of informational items. The first is report of reassignments for school year 24-25.
I'm reporting the following teacher reassignments for the school year 2024-2025. Laura Clark from grade 3 teacher at Downey School to grade 3 teacher at Fruit Street School. Megan Bridges from grade 2 teacher at 14th Street School to grade 8 English teacher at James F. Dowdy School. Jessica Fink from speech language pathologist at William S. Cohen School to 4/5 speech language pathologist at William S. Cohen School.
Thank you. Next, report of resignations for school year 24-25.
Thank you. I'm reporting the following teacher resignations for the school year 2024-2025. Sarah Woodworth, English teacher, Bangor High School. Patricia Hafner, grade 3 teacher, Abraham Lincoln School. Suzanne Gallant, 0.5 speech language pathologist, Bangor Regional Program. James Bouchard, music teacher, William S. Cohen School.
Thank you. Moving on to business action items. And then we have one action item, and it's the minutes of the regular meeting of May 8th, 2024.
Recommending approval of the draft minutes of the May 8th, 2024 regular school committee meeting.
Can I get a motion, please? So moved. Second. Any question or discussion? All in favor?
7-0. Thank you.
Next, the March 2024 financial report.
Recommending approval of the March 2024 financial report.
Motion, please. So moved.
Seconded.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
7-0. Thank you.
Next, we have personnel. We have teacher nomination.
Recommending the following teacher nominations for the 2024-2025 school year with a 1-year probationary contract. Jennifer Parks, kindergarten teacher, Abraham Lincoln School. Jamie Purnell, physical science teacher, Bangor High School. Carly Pelletier, special education teacher, Fruit Street School.
Motion, please. So moved. Second. Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
Okay, 6-0-1. Thank you.
Next, we have extra duty assignment.
Recommending committee approval of the following extra duty assignments for the school year 2024-2025. Aaron Santier, grade 8 team leader, James F. Dowdy School. Tom Sullivan, assistant football coach, Bangor High School.
Motion, please. So moved. Second. Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
6-0-1. Thank you.
Next is the big one, administrator nomination. We have superintendent of schools.
The Bangor School Committee will nominate a superintendent of schools for the 2024-2025 school year.
And before I read off the nomination, I have just a few words. Please bear with me. So first and foremost, I'd like to acknowledge the intense search process that we all went through. I also want to recognize not only my fellow school committee members, but also an extended search committee that included 10 other individuals in addition to us. So in February, the Bangor School Committee contracted the Maine School Management Association to conduct a nationwide search. We had an exceptional pool of highly qualified candidates to choose from, and we considered ourselves extremely fortunate. As one of my colleagues here put it, we had luxury of choice. Following the competitive search and selection process in many hours that included feedback from community members through our superintendent search survey and staff listening forums, extensive applicant screening and interviews with extended search committee members, it then moved to just the 7 of us for the second round and final interview. We did background and reference checks and made our decision based on the input gathered from this entire extensive process. We are absolutely thrilled and pleased to announce the nomination of Dr. Marie Robinson as the superintendent of schools. We believe she has the leadership, vision, skills, and experience to lead our district. A little bit about Dr. Robinson. Dr. Robinson is an innovative, progressive, and dedicated leader with over 25 years of experience. The majority of Dr. Robinson's career has been spent in the Philadelphia area, where she taught elementary and middle school for 15 years before she shifted out of the classroom to serve as an instructional coach and later a building principal. Dr. Robinson and her family moved to Maine in 2016 when she accepted the pre-K to 12 building principal position at RSU 89 Katahdin Schools. In 2019, she was named the district superintendent and earned her PhD in education in 2021 with a focus on learning, instruction, and innovation. During her tenure at Katahdin Schools, she has supported innovative efforts to enhance the public school experience by expanding pathways for high school students, integrating elementary curriculum, and utilizing the outdoors as a strategy to deepen learning and support mental health. Katahdin Schools, as a result, has been recognized the past 3 years by the U.S. News and World Report, achieving a 100% graduation rate in 3 of the last 6 years and increasing attendance by 5%. And just last year, Katahdin Middle High School was named number 3 in the state of Maine in 2024. So, on that note, can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
7-0, thank you.
And congratulations. Of the committee and myself, I'm proud to welcome you here, Dr. Robinson. Please.
Thank you so much, Chair. I am just truly honored and grateful to be nominated and approved as the next Bangor School Department Superintendent. I'm thrilled for this opportunity. As you did mention a lot, I did come from Philadelphia. Those are my roots. That's the accent that you hear, and it comes out at random times, so you will hear it. But again, I've come to grow, love, and just been truly, truly amazed at the community in Maine, and I'm excited and just so thrilled to be able to get to know the students, staff, and community here in the Bangor School Department. So thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to this journey.
Congratulations once again. So we move on to second reading of revised policies, and maybe take them all together.
Sure, thank you, Chair. Revised policy GDB 5, lunch aid compensation guide. Revised policy GDB 6, executive office compensation guide. Revised policy GDB 7, support staff compensation guide. Revised policy GDB 8, adult and community education compensation guide. Revised policy GDB 9, supplemental compensation guide. Revised policy GDB 10, educational technology staff compensation guide. Revised policy INGA, service animals in schools. Revised policy JICAA, student self-expression. Revised policy JICK, bullying in schools. Revised policy JLA, local wellness program. Revised policy JLCDA, medical marijuana in schools. Revised policy JLDBG, reintegration of students from juvenile correction facilities.
Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any questions or discussion on any of the policies? No? All in favor?
7-0, thank you.
Next, we have donation read by member Surratt.
Thank you, Chair. To the Abraham Lincoln School from Casella Waster, a cash donation for students having a total dollar value of $2,000. To Vine Street School from Hannaford, a cash donation for students having a total dollar value of $538. To Fairmount School from Maine Savings Maine Credit Union's campaign for ending hunger, a cash donation having a total dollar value of $1,585.54. To Fairmount School from the Fields Pond Audubon Center, 20 packs filled with student field study supplies having a total dollar value of $950. To Bangor High School from Walmart, food donation for Teacher Appreciation Week having a total dollar value of $300. To James F. Dowdy School from George and Mary Wright, a cash donation for the library having a total dollar value of $250.
Thank you. Motion, please.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor?
7-0.
Next, we have several in first reading of revised policies, and maybe take them all together, please.
I'm recommending first reading of revised policies. Revised policy KDA, public information program. Revised policy KDB, public's right to know, freedom of access. Revised policy KF, community use of school facilities. Revised policy KGD, community use of instructional equipment and materials. Revised policy KCD, public gifts or donations to the school. Revised policy KHB, advertising in schools. Revised policy KI, visitors to the schools. revised policy KJA, distribution of non-school materials, revised policy KLG, relations with school resource officers and law enforcement authorities, revised policy KNAG, reporting child abuse and neglect, and revised policy LEC, educational research and surveys, interviews, or evaluations of students, family, or faculty.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Second. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
7-0, thank you.
Moving on to committee updates. Any comments and or questions from the committee? John Brown.
Thank you. I just wanted to give a shout out to all of the staff, teachers, principals, everyone who made the week of testing digestible and, dare I say, enjoyable for the kiddos. This was my child's first go around with standardized testing. And as a person, I had struggled with test anxiety and I was worried about his ability to cope with that. And I was trying not to project, but he did get very nervous the week before. But whatever they were doing in the school and what he came home with and the little cheering cards and the "you can do this" notes that they got, and in his particular school, gift bags made from second graders to hand up to third graders. He came back feeling super confident after day one, rip-roaring and ready to go day two, and said, "Mom, that was actually pretty fun," which I never thought I'd hear about a standardized test. So kudos to everybody. I obviously don't know everyone's experience across the board, but I'm sure you all did a wonderful job and made that the best experience it could be. So thank you all very much.
Member Sprague, you're next.
Thank you. I just wanted to add a word of thanks to member Dusblon for your service with us. It's hard to give up this many evenings. People, I think, tend to think the hardest thing about, well, we all have to run for office, but you had to go through a process too to get selected to this. And it's hard to put your name forward, but it's also hard to be here when it's 85 degrees and sunny outside and all your friends are probably out doing things. And your commitment has just been exemplary. I think you fulfilled this role amazingly well and also brought really good insights into the high school to us, as Sophia has as well. But I feel fortunate to have served alongside you here, and it'll be fun to watch your track from here, and just hope you enjoy graduation, all the fun activities that come along with it. I also just wanted to add another word of welcome to our new superintendent, your husband. It's nice to meet you both, have you here. I think you'll find that people in Bangor really love our schools. It's a very pro-education community, and people are supportive and appreciative of the people in them, which you will be soon yourself. So I think you'll be greeted with a warm welcome. I hope so anyways. And I'll be excited to see how you bring your own talents and insights and perspective to bear. So looking forward to working with you.
Yeah. Member Brighton.
I would just like to say, well, obviously, welcome, Dr. Robinson and Robert. Glad to have you here. And thank you to the everyone, as you said, Marwa, that was participating in this search. It was a lot of collaborative, hard conversations. And I know a lot of people gave up a lot of time for that. And we're really lucky to have the community that we do. I also wanted to say just a public thanks and acknowledgement for Patricia Hafner, the third grade teacher at Abraham Lincoln, who is moving on. She is a phenomenal teacher. I will speak for my colleague here, Member Threat, as we have children in her class and they have had such a bright, intuitive, kind and welcoming experience as their last year at Abraham Lincoln, thanks to the way that she frames a lot of her education with a lot of sharing and personal connections and some really valuable pieces. And I would be remiss if I didn't publicly acknowledge and thank her for her time here at Bangor School Department.
Thank you. I also want to recognize Patricia Hafner. My son and daughter have had her for third grade this year. They absolutely adore her. I know she's going to be greatly missed at the Abraham Lincoln School. And third grade it's a tough school year for a lot of reasons. And some of it is the standardized testing. It's a challenging year academically, both for students and teachers. And Mrs. Hafner just does it with grace, with talent, and she'll be missed. Thank you.
Any other comments, Member Dusblon?
I want to open up by just congratulating our new superintendent. Congratulations. I also just, I want to close out by just saying I'm grateful really to all of you on the committee for welcoming me in the last couple of years. I've had a really good time it's been a learning experience. I remember back when I was a kid and I thought the superintendent's only job was to let mom and dad know about snow days. I thought that was the only thing they did. No, that's not the case now. Thank you for clearing that up. I didn't know until like last year. So it's been a learning experience and I'm really grateful I've been able to get a better understanding of how our community really functions. And I'm planning on going into education as a part of what I'm doing after high school, and I would not Bangor School of Art would be my first choice.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, congrats.
I wanted to give a DIB, sorry.
Oh, sorry, it's okay. I just want to make sure nobody else has
Oh,
any
sure, yeah.
questions.
I was waiting. Trying to move it along. Sorry.
Any other questions? I do have a quick comment too, and I have to, a quick shout out to Vice Chair Luciano and Member Surratt, because the three of us served as an ad hoc search committee members, in addition to what we all did. There was a lot of behind the scenes that a lot of people, did not see. A lot of, reviewing the hiring policy and coming up with the questions and doing a lot of the work. So many, many, many hours and long nights, I think for all of us, for all 7 of us, oftentimes from 4 to 9. And so when I've heard in the community, people say, well, that was so fast. We have dedicated school committee members who really, gave up many, many nights. Many of us have young children, so we left them with our partners and spouses, and this was a wonderful process. And again, much credit to all of you. They want to acknowledge that. On to representatives reports. Members are here.
So again, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Robinson and welcome to the Bangor School Department. Congratulations to you as well on graduation and your excellent service on the school committee, and to everyone on this board and the large interest committee. It was a long process, but you guys made it efficient, fun, effective, and I appreciate it. So I wanted to give an update on the DEIB. I don't know if Tim wanted to talk a little bit about the training that not training, it was more of a collaborative effort with a lot of the other school committee members across the state, just getting the ball rolling about having larger discussions about DEIB work in the state.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Yeah, and I just talked a little bit about this at the retreat that we had recently. So I've been working with Steve Bailey over the last few weeks to put out a sort of a solicitation to all school committee members throughout the state who serve on school committees and also serve on some type of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging advisory committee. So for us, Shelley and Marwa this year. And just sort of an ask for looking into interest from others to come together and have some sort of community during the 2024-2025 school year, and potentially meet on multiple occasions, share ideas, identify common problems, barriers, initiatives, and potentially just support one another within a community, and just kind of expand the work to a statewide level. So we had our initial meeting about a week ago. We had 50 school committee members from across the state register for the MSBA meeting, and 20 attended. Chair Hassanen, Member O'Carey, myself were there, and 17 others, and we had a really powerful discussion, and there's a lot of interest in coming together multiple times next year to sort of support one another in this work going forward. Thanks.
Thank you, Member Surratt, and thank you for just proposing that idea and getting the ball rolling on that. I'm very excited about what's to come from that collaboration. Thank you. Also, the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Belonging Advisory Committee met yesterday. It's all blurred together. And we had a robust discussion about closing the loop of the work of the advisory committee, and when the recommendations this time will be happening in the June meeting, where the advisory committee does the report out, and just ways that that advisory committee can get feedback about whether the recommendations are wild, whether they're being implemented. And it was a very good and robust discussion. I think a lot of things will come out of that to make the advisory committee feel more purposeful in their impact. Yeah, so that's pretty much the update. I'll let the more update, since they're going to be doing a complete update next June. So, I mean, in June meeting.
So more to come on June 12th. Any other representatives report? No? Okay, seeing none, let's move on. To student committee member updates, if you have any.
The seniors got to have fun at prom last Saturday. I think my invite might have gotten lost. And they also had their award ceremony last night where they were, a group of seniors were awarded the superintendent's award.
I have just a couple updates about some upcoming events. Memorial Day Parade is going to be hosted on Monday, the 27th, stepping off around 10:15 in downtown Bangor. RTC is holding the change of command on Wednesday, the 29th. So I'm all used up. They're all done with me. RTC down there. And I'm proud to announce that Eva Coombs, who is a rising senior, is going to be the one stepping into my shoes. And she's a very, very competent leader, very kind person. And I can't think of a better person to take control of that group. So it's Wednesday, the 29th at the high school in Peaks Auditorium. And senior salute is going to be held June 6th. Ceremony for seniors.
Looking forward to all the activities. Moving on to information items, we have several important dates. Sunday, June 9th, 2024, we get to celebrate Luke and others. Bangor High School graduation, 4 p.m. at the Cross Insurance Center. Wednesday, June 12th, 2024, we have a workshop with city councilors, 6 p.m. right here at the library. Wednesday, June 12th, 2024, another regular meeting, 7 p.m. here in the library. Tuesday, June 18th, 2024, we have our end of year recognition here at the Bangor High at 7:45 a.m. and school committee members are encouraged to attend. As we all know, our June 26th regular meeting has been canceled, and then Wednesday, July 17th, 2024, another regular meeting, 7 p.m. right here in the library. Final call for questions and or comments from the committee. Nope. Seeing none, adjournment. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Not gonna get them all.